Awesome. Okay, let's start over with Grant at the end. Grant, talk to us about what's working within landing page design. What are you seeing these days that's working?
Can I refer to my notes?
Yeah,
okay, cool. Those aren't my notes. I would say definitely a lot of these days, a lot of what does work is doing your research when it comes to users, who your users are, demographics, figuring out the various personas that exist. And you can do that on a light level. You can do that on a deep level. It really just depends on the project that you're working with, figuring out who are these people that we're trying to attract, and once we attract them, what are they interested in? You want to make sure that out of your personas, you can create these buckets or these funnels, because a lot of times, in my opinion, homepages are either they don't have enough information to catch you and bring you in, or they have too much information and you're just like, go away. So I would say definitely user research. Another big thing is consistency. Back when Flash was popular, every website would have its own way of scrolling, its own way of navigation, and you'd have to relearn. Every website you went to, you'd have to figure out, oh, what do I do now? These days, you can't really do that. You want to really kind of follow what the trends are. Those trends seem to change, I'd say probably on a year-by-year basis. On mobile now, we have the little hamburger icon that people through Facebook and all that stuff recognize that's a menu. So if I tap that, that's how I get my menus and your navigation. And also third is kind of trust your gut. There's this kind of visceral reaction that people will have or that you'll have when you're designing something. And you can ask yourself, you can be honest with yourself, does this feel right? If it doesn't, go at it again. Don't be afraid to throw stuff on the floor to start over. So I would say those are three things that tend to work.
That's helpful. Dylan, what's working?
I think what's working is thinking about the narrative. And I think what that means for landing page design is that, especially with Toyota, where we run so many different kinds of media, it's display ads or search ads or social posts, people are coming from all sorts of different destinations. And what's really important is that when they click on something and then they land on the landing page, that there's a connection and it's a continuous thought. So you're almost starting the thought on the banner and then you're continuing that when they land. And with so many different pieces of media out there, something that we've done is really tried hard to be dynamic and be smart about tailoring a landing page specifically to the piece of media and being able to do that dynamically. So you might have a landing page that is, if you come there, if you're just typing in the URL, it's always going to look one way, but if you come to it from clicking on a banner, that landing page is going to match the design, it's going to match the conversation that was started in the banner. So that's something we're having success with that's working.
Very cool. Dan, what's working with landing page design for you guys?
Yes. So my experience with landing page design is indirect. I don't build actual web pages, but I'm very interested in the relationship between your traffic acquisition efforts and your landing page. So just reinforce what Dylan just said, just the importance of relevance for your landing page with especially paid search and paid media, because that's a place where you're investing money and you can completely control the message and the copy and the creative, and the landing page, the destination URL. So making sure that there's close alignment and that folks, when they get to your page, you're giving them what they're expecting. As far as actual landing page design tactics that I've seen folks have success with, I think I've seen a lot of success with this idea of building engagement mechanisms into the landing page, sort of mini real-time interactions. So if your business is contingent on getting folks to give you information to fill out a data set, rather than asking for all that information right away, ask for a little something and then immediately give them something back, give them some value, validate their investment. They've offered you some information. Why do you need that information? Let them know right away so that they're incented to then invest more, give you more information, and you have that two-way relationship. Something else I think is really important is landing page optimization by device. Even though right now, today, the majority of internet traffic comes from mobile devices, you'd probably be stunned by the number of really large brands that are, in effect, still sitting on the sidelines with mobile that haven't made the necessary investments in their mobile site experience. When in reality, mobile is just an incredible opportunity to create even deeper, more meaningful interactions with your audience and your users because of how much more you can learn about them. If you know what device they're coming from, in my area of focus in the automotive space, if someone's on a lot and they're waiting for a dealer, and they're pulling up get into a landing page while they're waiting for the dealer, what's the right experience there while they're researching on the lot versus if someone's sitting on their couch watching TV, they exposed to some messaging on their TV, and now they're multi-screening with their tablet, looking for some more information. So what's the right experience there on the landing page and optimizing between all the different devices?
Very cool. What's working in landing page design?
I'm different from all these guys here. Our industry is very specific. Our target audience is mostly the U.S. government, some ally countries, the educational sector for recruitment. So for me, user research is very important. Even though it's very specific, we still user research has worked really well for us. And as far as landing page design, like Dan said, an engagement element or social media element is very important. It makes people engage at the most top level, and having a concise page and using graphics or video is very important for us, at least on a landing page design. So that's what works for us.
Awesome. Sean, what's working with landing page design?
Oh, I kind of echo a lot of what I think has already been said. I mean, I think that we dive really deep into the metrics and the data. We really try to understand our different consumers, whether they're coming to NBC.com front page. It's a different sort of experience and a different type of user that's coming in there who different than somebody who's coming to the voice specifically. So being very targeted, and I think one of the things that's working that I'm seeing in the industry overall, the level of importance of user experience, how that engages with social, how that engages with the data and the metrics, is not just about visual design anymore. It's actually about the user story, the user journey, and how we connect with people across multiple devices. So I kind of have a different perspective because we answer to many different sort of consumers on very niche sort of areas across multiple shows, multiple products and platforms. And I would say what's working the most is that we're moving towards this sort of program once responsive design framework that supports mobile, that supports social, that supports devices, so we can actually engage users at a point in time and be relevant, right? Be relevant to them based on the type of thing that they're looking for, understanding what they're coming for. Most of our views overall, and most people that come to NBC across any of our platforms, being a broadcast network, is obviously for video, so that's a huge driver for us, and it supports the sales metrics, it supports everything else. So it's kind of, we're in a shifting spot, a reinvention sort of area in my role on sort of, there's brand new territory across all the broadcast networks, how they're engaging against the Hulus and the Netflixes and things like that are starting to take some of this market share away. But for digital specifically, unlike broadcast, we're on 24/7. So it's a very different and a unique experience for a Jimmy Fallon than it is a Voice, than it is a Revolution or a Grimm or a Blacklist. And so it's challenging at times, but we look at, we utilize our marketing strategies. We obviously utilize our vast marketing sort of network and teams. But we really drive into the data, and we try to look at not so much of landing pages, but really displays, devices, and experiences across those. So by breaking the content in many ways out of a landing page, we're able to, deliver intelligent content, intelligent relationships of content to what people are looking for. So it's an interesting territory in my field now, because so many of the networks are really trying to make that leap as to what that actually means when people are consuming, outside. They might be watching a clip, doing a second screen sort of companion experience, or driving tune into the network that night. So it's evolving quickly, and it's ultimately very challenging on how we look at that. But at the end of the day, I think it's effective. It's understanding who that consumer is for that moment, and being able to deliver them targeted sort of information and experiences that get them to engage and keep them engaged in that experience.